Life is like a game of cards, each of us being dealt a different hand. Don't take a chance when you're dealing with mental health.
My experience with mental illness has been quite mixed. I started self-harming when I was 13, but my depression kicked in after my mummy died when I was 10. Self-harming was daily over small things. The suicide attempts were frequent. If I didn't get help then, I wouldn't have been here today.
In society in general, there is a bit of a stigma attached to mental health, but especially where we live because it's such a small city.
I think so often in our society, whenever we think of mental health, we think of illness or ill health. But what I see is the importance to have good mental health and good emotional health.
Like, people aren't open about it, people hide it, and you wouldn't really notice it. It's easily hid.
Whenever a lot of people hear mental health, they kind of automatically think that somebody's crazy or that they're, that they've got something terribly wrong with them.
I was moved straight out of care shortly after my mummy died. Then settling into a new environment, not getting on with the family there, getting into a new school.
Concentration is one of the first things to go, which impacts on your education.
If their teachers or whatever don't really understand that they have a mental health problem, they might just think that they're not trying hard enough and they might get kicked out.
They may not have confidence in themselves. They think that they can pass or think that they can achieve goals.
And in terms of them sustain or keeping long-term employment or training can be very difficult, in some cases impossible.
If someone has a mental health problem and their employer doesn't know, they might not be showing up for work and things like that, and their employer might not know that they're depressed.
In employment as well, people may feel they're comparing themselves to other people and that they're not normal.
Their employer might know that they do have a mental health problem, and there might be stigma against them.
If they have mental health issues, often those aren't picked up because it's put down to bad behaviour, or maybe they're a wild child or they're not a good person.
Then with friends, some didn't know whether they sort of stand by me or think, oh God, he's nuts.
To get friends, they might be influenced by peer pressure and that sort of thing, and they might get into antisocial behaviour.
But a lot of that comes from young people's anger. Where that anger comes from is the issue that needs to be addressed, rather than just label that person as bad.
When someone has an issue that they have to face, they tend to run away from it and do other stuff like drinking or smoking or drugs.
I've used my experience with Mental Health Day to go around talking to different people about self-harm. I've done videos, I volunteer with different groups. The main group I'm involved in now is Headliners, volunteering with different projects with them, and they're getting me through qualifications and stuff.
I suppose most importantly is to listen to young people, to hear what they're saying, to hear that they're stressed or feeling anxious or worried. you know, and try and talk a young person through that so that they aren't bottling up all those kind of negative feelings which can lead to mental health difficulties.
You're not alone. There is people out there that can help you. There is, if you can find somebody you're comfortable talking to about, whether it's friends, brothers, sisters, family members, youth workers, counsellors, doctors, there's somebody out there that you can talk to.
Johnny is proof that you too can turn a bad deal into a winning hand.